trying to keep myself cool. So,
Yeah.
okay.
So this is your clarity session, and you are clear that this is being posted publicly. I love that we showed up in the same color. And you signed a release form. So
Yeah.
thank you for getting that back into me so quickly. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. So
Yeah.
sometimes when people fill that form out, the act of filling it out answers questions. And so
Hmm.
by the time they get here, it's different. So has anything changed, or where would you like to go today? We can just jump right in.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what I filled out on that form.
Yeah, good question. I
Because things have
Yeah,
been
it's been a minute.
updated.
So let me refresh both our memories.
Okay. Yeah. I
Oh, here it is.
was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have your RV, your dogs, job, coaching, things like that that are going well, financial scarcity, time scarcity, the house, potentially career.
Hmm.
What is up? What's up today?
Well, a couple things that I wrote down were that I tend to take on too much. I get
Yeah.
overwhelmed. I sabotage, and I can be a perfectionist, which doesn't help. So those are some things that came up this morning when I was meditating. So if you want to go there.
Okay. Do you want to, what's your question about that? Or, um,
Um, I guess why do I tend to take on too much and then uh, get overwhelmed? And I guess why do I keep doing this to myself? Basically,
yeah. Well, what have you tried so far? I'm going to sharpen a pencil. Hold on. What
I
have
gotta
you
make sure
tried so
my
far to catch that pattern? So it's a pattern, keeps replicating.
yeah,
The nice
yeah.
thing about patterns is we keep getting opportunities to change them. So what have you done
Hmm.
so far to try and change that pattern?
Well, I have tried to schedule my time, like
Okay.
every hour of the day, tried to schedule it so that, I know what I have to get done. I have spreadsheet of lists. I have learned to say no. I pause before I say yes to something now.
Okay.
And
That's progress.
yeah, I've tried to let go of some of the perfectionism that makes me, have to do everything perfectly. Um, I've tried a lot of different things. I've been trying to correct this for a while. So I've researched it a lot, but
Yeah.
it seems like I'm leaving in less than 2 weeks on a 6 week trip. And I have way too much to do. I have too much on my plate, and I'm already feeling like a perfectionist that the house has to be perfect for the house sitter, and it doesn't. And I know that, but I'm just kind of
It doesn't
stressing
mean
about.
you know it intellectually, but are you able to set it aside, or are you going to keep trying to make the house perfect?
Um, I will probably keep trying, just because I want my house to look nice for them, and um, to me, it's out of not so much about making myself look good, but out of care for them. Like I want it to be beautiful and comfortable when they come, and I want the yard to look pleasant. And so, it's more about me wanting them to have a really good experience and not so much about, ooh, they're going to judge me if it doesn't look right. It's not so much about that.
Motivation is not as important as the energetic cost of it.
Yeah.
Like where
Hmm.
you're coming from makes sense whether you're doing it to look good or you're doing it to be, be nice and
Yeah.
thoughtful for them. The end
Mhm.
result is it's more on your plate than you can handle.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
Um, what do you think it would feel like to call it good enough now and do your other tasks to get ready to leave?
Uh, well, I have quite a few tasks to leave.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think I shared with you on our last group call about taking too many classes, and I've paused all of them for now for probably the last 3 weeks. I've just said, you know what, they're going to be there when I get on the road and I can have some free time, but until then, I'm pausing them. And
Good. That's really good.
the yard, I was going to rearrange a bunch of rocks and remove stuff. And I thought, no, it's
Okay.
fine. It's fine the way it is. But, yeah, I just know I have a week and a half and I haven't really set up the RV entirely yet. And
Okay.
so there's going to be a lot of late nights and a lot of stress. And I keep
Maybe,
reminding
maybe,
myself,
maybe
well,
it's going to be late nights and stress, or maybe we can do it differently.
yes, I keep telling myself, there will be plenty of time to do everything that you need to do, and it will all work out. You will get it all done. Just, look at your list and keep going. Don't waste
And
time online. Don't waste time,
okay.
whatever.
Yeah. 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 So do you see how that structure is rooted in scarcity? The same as the money? How do you perceive it? How do you see it as rooted in scarcity?
It just goes back to I always feel like I never have enough time and I never have enough money.
Yeah.
And it is sometimes true. And so I have little signs all over my desk here that the universe always provides. There's always enough time.
That's
You are
important
abundant.
though. Like you're
You're
a very smart
resourceful.
woman. You're highly
Pardon me?
intelligent. You're very intelligent. You're very creative. And you can tell yourself things like that all the time. But if that behavior is continuing,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the disconnect is. Like you see the pattern, you can identify the pattern, but you're still choosing to engage in the pattern, even though you
Right.
know it's happening.
Yes.
So so tell me what happens if you say, you know what? I know this pattern. I've been doing it for years. Here's the first indicator that I'm about to go down that road, and I'm going to do something different instead.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to you physically, even just talking about that?
I, I have tried that in the past and I get very optimistic that it will all work out.
But
And
that's
that's where this
good. Yeah.
that's where the self-sabotage comes in. It's like a month ago I knew I was going to have a lot to do. And so I created a spreadsheet
Okay.
and I created what am I going to do each week. I put it on my calendar. I
Okay.
did, everything like, okay, this week I need to get this done. This week I need to get this done. And I'm going to hire these people to help me. And I kind of looked at the calendar and the spreadsheet and had it all figured out. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Because
And
you're
I got
smart.
sick. I got sick. My dog has had an infection for
Right.
6 weeks now, which wasn't expected. I've taken her to the vet 16 times. My car got a tire in it. The
Okay.
yard flooded. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like I did not plan for life, apparently, because
Well,
life always gets in the way. I can have the best laid plans,
sure.
but life tends to, rear its ugly head.
Well,
And then
yeah,
and then
life
I
is
get
not going to
more
stop.
overwhelmed. What's that?
Life won't stop because of our spreadsheets. And if you're putting too much on the spreadsheet, there's no buffer.
Yeah, I actually added in buffer on the calendar,
Okay, great.
but not enough apparently
Okay.
because
Well, that's
life just kind of kept coming. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, my dog. she had a simple surgery on May 20, and it was supposed to be
Right.
quick and easy and cheap, and it's
Yeah.
cost 3 times as much and taken 10 times as long. And
Yeah,
I
I
would
hear you.
count,
That's
you
the
know,
this current situation, but this is a pattern that's been going on for years,
yes,
right? So it's
yeah.
always something, and what I'm hearing is that you feel powerless against it, or something in your system feels like you literally can't have it different. What do you know about that?
It's $1 million question. that
Well,
is
that could be
that
right.
is the $1 million question. Yeah, it seems like life tends to get in the way a bit.
Oh,
And I don't know if it's bad luck, bad karma, or
oh, it's
I
just,
just don't foresee things well enough. I, I don't know.
well, it's not bad luck and it's not bad karma. It's life doing what life does. But
Hmm.
when our system is geared toward making sure we stay overwhelmed, it doesn't matter how much buffer you build in, you'll allow something to keep the story in place. Maybe
Hmm.
this was for you because I woke up thinking about all the ways we keep our stories in place. And I posted that on Facebook and LinkedIn. Like we will, if we have a story, we will make sure that it continues to replicate. So you could cut your spreadsheet in half, and your perception that life is attacking you will still
Hmm.
be there. And so this pattern will still replicate. This is not your fault. Like
Hmm.
I don't know if you shame yourself for it. I hope you don't. Or if you do, I hope
Hmm.
you will try to maybe lessen that. But because
Yes.
it's a learned pattern from somewhere.
Hmm.
So if you were going to teach me to have a life like this, if you were going to teach me how to stay overwhelmed, what do I need to do?
Don't look ahead too far,
Okay.
take too many classes, have too big of a yard, adopt too many dogs,
Okay.
work for busy people. I just,
Yeah.
um, yeah, there's a lot of choices that I have made in the past that were okay at the beginning, but then they become issues.
Okay.
Like having 3 dogs was fine at one point until I started taking classes or one of them got sick, or moving into this house was fine when I moved in with my partner, but then
Right.
he left and
Right.
now it's too much for one person. So
Right.
so a lot of times the decisions are okay at the beginning and then something changes, and I guess I don't foresee the change and how it would affect me
That's okay.
negatively.
That's okay because we can't predict everything, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
it's not it's the energy of it feels like some part of you feels really put upon or attacked by victimized
Hmm.
by life doing what life does to everyone.
Hmm.
And then it feels like your system kicks into, well, nothing I can do.
Hmm.
And so where I have to stay over. Let's just play this game, okay? Because we're doing it for safety, right? It's
Hmm.
familiar. It's our familiar bad feeling place. It's all okay. We're looking at it, um, and it's fine. So I have to stay overwhelmed because fill in the blank.
I don't have an answer to that.
Okay, that's okay. That's
I,
okay.
I yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I was
if
thinking about
I,
that the other day.
yeah,
That
that's totally fine. So If I stay overwhelmed, then if I stay overwhelmed, then fill in the blank there.
Hmm. It's not serving me, so I don't know
It's
what
serving you,
the
or
answer
it
is.
is serving you, or
Yeah,
somehow it's serving you. So when I say overwhelmed, I don't have to, what?
I don't have to read or relax or I don't have I I want to do those things. That's I feel like I don't have enough time to read, to write, to relax, um
So
to
what's
do
bad about that? What's wrong about you reading and relaxing and having enough
nothing,
time?
nothing,
It's
nothing at
not a
all.
priority.
It's it is when I am not so overwhelmed. I mean, like
Right. Do you see the loop?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, part of why I like going away in the RV is because I don't have a big house. I don't have a big yard. I have a 23-foot by 8-foot space that I have to keep clean.
Yeah.
And I have to
This
walk the
pattern,
dogs, and that's
this
it.
pattern's been going on before you moved in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you
Yes.
see how your system is trying to point to externals? It's because of this. It's
Mm-hmm.
because of that. But it's not because you had it before this and that,
Mm-hmm.
right? But your system is trying
I've
to,
always camped though. Camping is my way to get out of my life for a little bit. It's
I
my
hear you, but we're
escape.
talking about
Um,
this replicating pattern where to
mm-hmm.
solve it, you're trying to solve it out here. So your
Mm-hmm.
system is intelligently looking for what is out here that makes this keep happening. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not out here. It's not the house or the yard or the dogs or the job
Mm-hmm.
because you had it before you had the house and the dogs and the job,
Right.
right? So it can't
Mm-hmm.
be. So then if we just look at it logically, it can't be the house and the dogs and the yard as the source of it, right?
Well, my word for the last couple of years has been simplify.
Okay.
So
And so
it has,
then that brings up why you're not simplifying. That's the
well,
danger
it's,
of picking a word for the year is it's
yeah,
like, oh,
well,
I'm gonna
it's been a
simplify.
goal. It's been a goal or an intention is to simplify.
Right.
And, part of why I'm taking these classes is to eventually leave my chaotic, busy, unfulfilling job and do something that I will have more freedom with my time.
But you
Uh,
listen to what you're saying. You won't have more freedom with your time because you won't have resolved why you keep replicating it. You're the
well,
one doing it. It's not the job. It's not the
yeah,
house or the yard. So you can get rid of that. I could hand you a winning lottery ticket right now, and you would clear the decks, and then you would just refill them with something else.
probably.
Well, I think
So,
if we look back at your life, that's what's happened is you make the space and then you fill the space and you're like, shit, I'm
mhm,
overwhelmed. It must be because of this, that, and the other thing. But it isn't. It's because you're more
mhm,
comfortable feeling overwhelmed than you
mhm,
are feeling whatever it is you're not feeling.
mhm,
If I said, look, Heidi, you are not allowed to overwhelm yourself. You're not allowed to. You literally can't overbook or squish your time or take on too much stuff. What would you come face to face with if you literally had to stop overwhelming yourself?
Not sure. I guess I'd have to cancel a lot of things, but um, yeah, it's not. I don't feel like I'm. I was analyzing this like 6 months ago. It's like, am I afraid to have too much free time? Like, what would I do with myself? And I don't feel like I am. I don't feel like I'm afraid of free time because when I do get it, I relish it and I take advantage of it fully.
Mhm.
Um, but I think I've always been overly ambitious. And I don't know if it's because I'm trying to prove something or because I'm trying to, fill something, fill a void.
I'm
I'm
going to
not.
name some things.
Mm-hmm.
You're, when you rewatch this video, you're going to see a lot of how this is happening. You
Probably.
live up here. Your energy
Mm-hmm.
is concentrated up here. When I
Mm-hmm.
ask you questions, all your energy goes up here. Your eyes go up, and
Yeah.
all this mental stuff you're thinking. I can like literally feel the intensity of your intelligence. It's not a bad thing. It's just
Yeah.
driving a pattern that you don't want. It's not serving you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all this concentrated energy here. And even in your, like, I've analyzed it, I've thought about it, I've looked at
Mm-hmm.
the data. It's all very intellectual. While underneath that, my stomach is churning. My heart
Mm-hmm.
feels like it's hurting. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I'm what I'm feeling, and again, I could be very wrong about this, but what I'm feeling is like there's this Heidi, and then there's this Heidi. And
Mm-hmm.
this Heidi makes sure that this Heidi is not heard or seen or felt.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about that?
I feel this, Heidi, though. I feel
What are you
things in my
feeling?
heart and my stomach quite often.
Yeah, I'm not
And
saying
I
that you're
feel,
dead down there, but
no, but I mean, like, I feel that's how I make a lot of decisions.
yes, okay,
Is in my I have big decisions.
okay.
Little decisions, head's got it. But the bigger decisions, like, do I want to take this class? Do I want to go out with this person? Do I want to take this trip? It's like it's my heart and my solar plexus and my sacral that are giving me the yes or no feelings.
Yes,
Uh,
I hear you. On your decision making, that makes sense to me. But if
yeah,
I put you
but
out by
like,
yourself in the desert for 3 days in a yurt with no distractions, what's going to come up? I mean, no books, no nothing. You in the desert, and that's it. You can have some water and some food.
thanks.
But what's going to come up? What's going to come knocking?
A lot of meditation.
My power. Damn it.
Oh, you lost. You're back. Oh, I can't hear you.
My power
There
went
you
out, so I had to switch over to the hotspot.
are. Oh no. Um, I'm glad it's not mine. When I first moved here, my ex moved with me, and then he lasted 9 months and left, and I was in the middle of nowhere here, and it was very, very, very quiet, and it was in the middle of a pandemic, and I didn't go anywhere, and I was alone all the time, and I worked from home, and I was alone constantly,
Yeah.
and it was very therapeutic and transformative for me.
Okay.
So I don't. Um, I would love to be in a yurt for 3 days. I
Okay.
think that would be very relaxing, and
Okay.
I would probably sleep and meditate and do yoga, just relax, which would be wonderful. So,
Yeah. Is that
but
the same as the pandemic? Because you still have distractions in work. So that's fine. I'm just gonna leave that
mhm,
seat with you.
mhm,
Because for me, what I'm feeling is a lot of something here in like between the collarbones and the top of your hips. Something that is contained and not allowed. The words I'm hearing are I'm not allowed, whatever that means. I'm not allowed. So
mm,
if you if you know you have an existing pattern, it doesn't replicate by accident,
mhm,
right? So
right.
when you feel compelled to book another appointment or take another class, what is it, what's going on in your head that you go ahead and give your credit card instead of saying no?
Mhm,
What's happening there? Like, because your hand is reaching for the buy button.
right.
Are you aware of, I've already got too many classes. Are you afraid
Mhm.
if you don't get things now, you won't ever get them? Like, is this a deprivation thing?
Yeah. I mean, part of it is, I haven't signed up for any classes in 3 months, but I did sign up for one.
Yeah.
And it was only because it wasn't going to be repeated. It was like it was a
Okay.
one time thing, and I thought it would be extremely beneficial. And I actually slept on it for 2 weeks
Okay,
thinking
that's
about
great.
it,
Yeah, that's great.
and decided to go ahead and do it.
Okay.
But I have turned down a lot of other classes in the last couple months because I can't do anymore. I did sign up for too much, and I think part of it was enthusiasm where it's like, oh, I want to learn this, I want to learn this, I want to learn this,
Definitely.
and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, I'm out of time. I don't have enough time to learn all of these things, so I need to finish what I've started before I can sign up for anything else. So I kind of got myself into a pickle, but it was out of enthusiasm. It was out of
Yeah.
just that
And the
eagerness to,
motivation of why you're doing it doesn't matter.
yeah.
What matters is that the behavior continues.
Hmm.
So whether it's classes or whatever it is, it you are continually suffering. And that's what matters.
Hmm.
Is how do we stop the suffering as it's happening? So let's just focus on the here and now, and I'll leave you with the other stuff just to contemplate.
Hmm.
The here and now is you have 2 weeks to get on the road, right?
Hmm.
And you have a list of things to do. Is there truly enough time to do them?
Well, I would like to think so, but that's probably optimism because the last 3 times I've gone on a big RV trip, I've not slept the last couple nights before I've gone
Yeah,
because I was scrambling to get stuff done. So that's why I created this spreadsheet a month ago. So I
yeah.
didn't replicate that. And so now, I'm just looking at the next week going, okay, how can I simplify? How can I let go? How can I not, are there things that I can do, like put the curtains on or whatever, once I'm on the road? I don't have to get that done right now. And so I'm just looking at my list every day going, what can wait? What has to get done today? What can wait? Um, and like for example, I'm on a board and I shouldn't be on this board because I don't have time for this board. So tonight's the board meeting. and I've decided I'm going to quit tonight. Tonight's my last night. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore
Okay.
because I've learned, everything I've had going on in the last month, it has not been a priority at all. So I'm done. I'm quitting.
Okay.
So,
Progress.
um, yes. And I've taken other things off my plate. Like I was going to volunteer to help with something. And I'm like, what the heck am I thinking? Why am I even offering to do that? I can't do that right now. So, no, I took that off my plate. So I'm constantly taking things off my plate.
Yeah.
And I feel like, meditating daily for the last, I think I've been doing it faithfully daily for the last 6 months, 9 months, maybe.
Excellent.
Um, that really helps because that takes me to a more intentional place of, before I look at my list and get overwhelmed and start feeling like, oh, I gotta do this. It's like, no, just take 15 minutes and do this.
Yeah,
And then
that's
at the end
great.
of the 15 minutes, it's so much easier to prioritize. It's so much easier to say, this doesn't matter to me. I don't care about this, or this doesn't matter. I don't care about this. So,
Okay. So you're crossing things off.
yes. So
What's
I'm,
on the list for today? For example, what has to get done today to keep you to where you're not
mhm.
frantic at the end?
I have to work. I have some work projects. I have the board meeting tonight. I have to finish the minutes for that and send out an email.
Okay.
And then I have to call about the tires I need to get for the RV, and call a bunch of places to for appointments and stuff. So yes, so that's on my list for today. But then tomorrow, I have vet appointment, acupuncture appointment. And then
Okay.
Friday I've got appointments. But then I have nothing next week. I have 2 vet appointments, but nothing other than getting stuff done.
Okay. When you have things on the calendar and on your list and it's time to do them and you don't, what makes you not do it? Like you go, what do you do instead? Like you go watch TV or you just keep looking at your emails? What keeps you from doing the thing that's on the list for today?
It's usually exhaustion. Like I just get to a point where I can't do anymore. Um, sometimes I've been pretty good about social media. I mean, in the past, I've gotten
Yep.
lost
That one gets me a lot.
for a while, but I usually only allow myself to do that if I'm eating or just sitting outside with my dogs, relaxing. Then I do it. But otherwise, I have trained myself to stay away because
Okay.
I get down rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Um,
So tomorrow,
so
today
yeah.
we have a board meeting and some tasks and some work and a bunch of phone calls. Tomorrow you have a vet appointment that takes what, an hour, hour and a half,
An hour.
an hour. And then the
And
acupuncture takes an hour, hour and a half.
and then I have to work in between. So
Yeah.
to do my day job.
Yeah. And how many hours is that?
It's about 40 hours a week,
But tomorrow, how many hours are you working tomorrow?
probably 6 in between the appointments.
Okay. So that's
So
an 8 hour
I mean,
day.
I'm salary. Some days I work more, some days I work less.
Yeah, sure.
So
Um,
yeah, but
about
I do
8.
have some good projects to get done in the next week. So those have to get done.
Well, we're just talking about tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So just for tomorrow, you have clock hours of about 8 hours dedicated to things that are not related to the trip. Not really. I mean, taking
Mm-hmm.
care of the dog and acupuncture
Right.
is
Yep.
related to the trip, but it's not related to getting the RV done or set
Yes.
up. So
Mm-hmm.
what's on the list tomorrow for getting the RV set up?
Well, I have to get it ready to go Friday to get the tires. So just make sure that the things inside are secured.
Sure.
So
So how
I
long
have
does
some
that take?
things that are on the bed that have to go on the floor. So I just have to get it
Yeah.
ready to move.
How long does
So
it take?
it probably take a couple hours.
2 hours to
Hmm.
things on the floor and lock down the
Just
cabinets.
clean up in there, get things organized, get the tire covers off and the tire pressure monitor thing off, get it hooked up to my car.
Does that feel doable?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then that it takes care of Thursday. And
Hmm.
what is happening on Friday?
Friday, my handyman is coming to do some work around the house and
Okay.
help me get the kayaks on the car because
Okay.
those have to get put onto the car. And then after he leaves, I'm going to get the tires.
Okay.
And and then when I come back, it'll probably take me an hour to back it up because I'm not very good at that part.
Literally an hour, or it feels like an hour?
It takes a while to back up and get it leveled. I'm not good at backing up. I'm practicing. So
Okay.
it might if it takes less than an hour, I'll be happy. But
Yeah.
last time I had to get it leveled and get it backed into a spot. It took a long time because I'm
Okay.
not good at backing up. So yeah, so once it's back in its spot tomorrow night, then I have all weekend to clean and organize and unpack. I have to unpack all the rugs and the bedding and all of that. Get the dishes put
How long does
away.
unpacking take? Pulling out rugs, putting on sheets. How long does that
Hmm,
take?
I kind of figure I'm going to spend most of my weekend in there getting things set up and organized and washed and like taking out the gazebo and washing it and getting the tools packed and probably take most of the weekend. So
Even after spending 2 hours on it on Thursday, it will still take
yeah,
all weekend.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I when I put everything away in the fall, I just like I packed all the dishes and Rubbermaids and like big totes because I have mice and
Oh, sure. Yeah.
put every so I just have to unpack everything and get it set up and get some of the stuff that can go in there now. Like I can't do a lot of the food and the toiletries and stuff till next week.
So if
But
you do
yeah, and then
over the
and
weekend, what's left after all that? You've unpacked it, the tires are done, you've got the
mm-hmm,
kayaks on the car, the dishes are unpacked, sheets are on the bed, all that stuff done by Sunday afternoon.
and unpack my clothes, my toiletries, my books, my electronics, get the house cleaned, clean out the pantries, clean out the fridge, get some yard work done. Yeah, got quite a
So I'm
bit.
starting to feel overwhelmed, and but this is energetic.
Yes,
Logistically, there's plenty of time to do all that
yeah,
stuff. So
it
this
probably
is an
is.
energetic mindset pattern thing that's happening that's not going to be figured out with a spreadsheet,
Mhm. Right.
or because it's not out here. It's not
Mhm.
anything happening out here. It's in here, and it's in this glitch in something is. So let me give you an example.
Scarcity.
Well, it's yes, there's something we're not going to probably figure out the core of it in an hour, but we can poke holes in it, and your own
Hmm.
system can start to bring you the knowledge, but it's very palpable how your system is like not going to go there. It
Mm-hmm.
mind is like not gonna go there. And that's okay. That's totally fine. It's a
Hmm.
process when we start to go, okay, look, it's not out there. It's not the job. It's not the partner. It's not, those are all factors and they suck. But
Hmm.
that's not what's driving this bus.
Hmm.
So when we So, for example, just general my own money story, people I've worked with a money story, it just looks like you just can't get ahead. And it looks like it's completely outside of your control and it just doesn't make sense. And then you
Mm-hmm.
start to look at it and break down minute by minute what is happening throughout the day. Then you start to slowly uncover, like, oh, I think I'm doing a budget, but I'm not actually, because I'm not writing down groceries and I'm not building in space for emergency dog visits and or
Right.
dog vet visits and things like that. So, okay, well, let me adjust that. And then you start to find the roots, the deep things that make it so imperative that this pattern stay in place because the alternative is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Something in your system that finds spaciousness and relaxation on a daily, weekly basis, something about that is unacceptable. There's payoffs, meaning that when someone keeps themselves on subsistence level income and they're always scrambling to pay the bills, it is a benefit because if they aren't scrambling to pay the bills, they're going to have to do something else that they less want to do. They
Mm-hmm.
less want to deal with. They don't want to look at their family patterns. They don't want to look at their marriage that's falling apart, or they don't want to look at an addiction they have. So they
Mm-hmm.
compensate by acting out childhood patterns, things like that. Keep running it, running it, running it, running. So you don't have to do this other thing. And this other thing is what's driving your bus, and it's dodging me. Like I'm trying to see behind your mentalness, this energetic
Mm-hmm.
field here, and I can't see it. And what
Mm-hmm.
that tells me is I can feel that it's there. And
Mm-hmm.
after doing this for so long, I just know that when I can't even get a glimmer on it, your system is just not ready for that. And that's not a
Mm-hmm.
problem or a failing or anything. It's an issue of timing and an issue of I refuse to allow myself to go without sleep to get this RV ready. So if it comes
Mm-hmm.
down to the wire, then I don't go, or I delay, or I put my physical well-being first. There's
Mm-hmm.
all these components. I know I'm like peppering these out to you, but when what I hear is I'm put upon, these things are happening to me, and I can't help it. This thing, the dog gets hurt, and so everything else falls apart. The partner leaves, and so everything else falls apart. And while that is definitely true,
Mm-hmm.
roots of that are under that.
Mm-hmm.
This makes sense to you?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Can you think of, let's say, let me say this differently. If our situations were reversed and I described everything that you've just described to me, what advice would you give?
I would tell you that you're doing too much. That you're doing too much. You're
That's the
trying.
truth.
It is, and I'm aware of that. Um, and I've been in therapy for years.
No,
I've
you need
worked
a
with
different.
a hypnotherapist to do regression therapy, to do hypnotherapy, to try to figure out why this is the way it is. And nothing has come through. Like if I have something in me that's causing this, it's so far repressed that it's not
So the way
come
to
to
deal
the
with that,
surface.
yes,
What's that?
the looking for the why is another way to not ever resolve it.
Oh, okay. That could be too.
Our pursuit, and this is a blessing and curse of this is where when you're an intelligent person, it really works against you. because your mind is so smart and clever and complex. It can
Mm-hmm.
find extremely creative ways to circle and never land.
Mm-hmm.
And you circle,
I
you're
believe
comfortable up here, but all the stuff down here, I'm not saying you're emotionless. I'm
that.
saying
Mm-hmm.
there is a thing there. So the answer is not another book or another therapist or another coach or another class. The
Mm-hmm.
answer then, when you've done all that and nothing is shifted, then you have to go direct to behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You, the task is on the calendar and you have to catch yourself not doing it or taking too much time over here, taking too much time over there until time runs out. Spending 16 hours over the weekend to handle one RV, that's physically unreasonable. It's an RV.
Yeah.
It's not the Taj Mahal. So something is happening in there that's eating up the time. And what's required is for you to go drop in the moment as it's happening and and be with the body, not the words. You've got the words nailed because you're smart,
Mm-hmm.
but the body is doing something and then the mind is doing something else. So then we're caught in this thing that never budges. The
Mm-hmm.
body's got the keys to what's going on, not the mind, not the words, not the memory in the head, the memory in the
Mm-hmm.
body. This sensation is so familiar to you, and stopping it at the behavior level is the next step in, I'm going to call it treatment, but it's not treatment. But you know what I mean? Like when
Right.
you're doing unwinding deep, deep patterns like this, for me, it was
Mm-hmm.
finance. I had to do the same thing. Like I had to put $100 in the bank and feel how bad I wanted to spend it, and then I would spend it. And then I'd start over.
Mm-hmm.
And I would find a reason to spend. I had to do this because it was on sale. Or I had to do this because I wouldn't get another chance and I was afraid. I had to
Mm-hmm.
somehow get rid of that money. And it felt like it was just happening to me. And when I stop the behavior, when you stop the behavior, then you can go, oh, I am the one doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually me.
Mm-hmm.
I've got great rationalizations for it. I've got great reasons for it that all make perfect sense on the surface. But the net result is to stay in this, oh, I'm just this and this and this and this. And then you
Mm-hmm.
just fall, like your energy just physically falls. And that is learned from somewhere. And you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to figure out that part. Stopping the behavior will start to bring it forward. Having that word simplify in your energy field is bringing up why you're not simplifying. It's the behavior. So the more you're like, "I simplify, simplify," the more your system is, this is why you're not doing it. This is what's happening. This is why you're not doing it. I warn people every December, when you pick that word for the next year, get ready. Everything's going to come up. Something
Mm-hmm.
here is deeply embedded in, if I'm not overwhelmed, then I'm not safe. Someone's going to be mad at me. I have to do this to get love. I have to do this to be safe. I have to do this to get cared for. There's something in that, but the body has all of that, and it's not words.
Mm-hmm.
It's so deep, it's not words, it's beyond words.
Yeah, I believe that. Mm-hmm.
I know for sure that when you ask those questions and drop down into your body, it feels like solar plexus, that's very young age. That's two,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere between 2 and 5. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you drop down further into that, that's root chakra, sacral chakra, that's early, early development.
Mm-hmm.
And ask your system to bring that information forward to you so that you can see what's happening. At this
Mm-hmm.
moment, there's a big piece of it that's just not available to your site or mine.
Mm-hmm.
So you start at the behavior level.
Mm-hmm.
What I hear is that you are picking at things. Like you're in several things that you're doing start to erode that defense mechanism, that wall of
Mm-hmm.
blindness. And one of them is quit looking at that list and going, I got to get rid of stuff. And then when it comes
Mm-hmm.
time and your system tries to refill that space, you catch it and go, why am I putting something in this space? I just got rid of the board meeting, so I'd have this space. So why am I allowing
Mm-hmm.
it to take 30 hours to get an RV ready? Why am I allowing this? What's going on here? And
Mm-hmm.
compassionate curiosity is key.
Yeah.
Do you beat
Yeah.
yourself up mentally? Or you,
Sometimes
yeah,
I'm learning not to. I'm learning to be kinder to myself and treat myself like I would other people in my life.
yeah,
So I used to beat myself up quite a bit,
yeah.
and definitely, everything
All
had to be perfect all the time. I mean, I am a somewhat recovering perfectionist. I've tried
right.
so hard to recover from that, but
You're getting there. You listed several things that I wrote down that are progress.
yeah.
Even having a
Hmm.
spreadsheet and scheduling the time is progress.
Hmm.
Looking at that list every day is progress.
Hmm.
Noticing when it's on the calendar for you to unpack the dishes, but you do something else instead.
Hmm.
Noticing, compassionate curiosity, observing. You're
Hmm.
working on your self-talk. You've paused the classes. You decided not to juggle rocks. You can
Hmm.
identify the issue. So there's loads of progress happening.
Hmm.
And then the curse of that, that's a blessing, right? And then the curse of that, it gets you closer and closer and closer to why this is such an intractable pattern that
Yeah.
feels inescapable. It feels beyond you.
Hmm.
It feels like it's easier for your mind to look out here and try to adjust things out here, but it won't matter. You can adjust them out here all day long and you'll still replicate it as long as it's going on in here.
Yeah.
And so when you think about the house and it has to be perfect and all these things, I'm guessing that it's probably already plenty good enough. So then you can look at, okay, I'm not doing anything else to the house. And then
Hmm.
you can feel for the parts of you that are like, mm-mm, unacceptable.
Yeah.
And then you can explore that. But working at the behavior level now will help bring you out of here down into
Hmm.
here.
Hmm.
And it will dissolve the wall that's keeping it shrouded.
Hmm. Yeah. In a perfect world, I'll have everything ready a day before the house sitters get here.
It's possible.
It
It's
is possible. That was kind of my goal, is have everything ready so when they come I can just relax and
so imagine that's
hang out with
did.
them. Yeah.
It's done. You're done. It's a day ahead of
Hmm.
time. How were you able to do it and be done a
Hmm.
day ahead of time? How did you do
Yeah.
it?
How did I do it?
Yeah.
Or how?
Imagining
Yeah.
that it's already done.
Just yeah. Just spend. I mean, that's why I want to spend a lot of time this weekend getting the majority of things done, so that next week I can spend a few hours cleaning, a few hours packing, and then by
But
have the 4th of July
yeah,
to just hang out, do nothing, relax, and look at my checklist and make sure I've got my ducks in a row. And then they come on Saturday.
it's absolutely possible. So notice where you veer off track from that. There's literally more than enough hours between now and then to do it with loads of free time. There's literally enough clock hours to do it.
Mhm.
So notice when you're running out of time and see if you can catch what is happening in the moment. That's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
When you start to catch it in the moment, the information starts to come more clear. And you'll start to see.
Yeah. You mean catch myself taking too much time on something or
Yeah, like you
Mhm.
start unpacking the dishes and then you're like, I'm just hypothesizing. You start unpacking the dishes and then you're like, oh, well, I can't unpack the dishes because I got to do this other thing first. Then you go do the other thing and you're like, well, I can't finish this other thing because I got to do this first. And then it
Mhm.
spirals, and before you know it, the sun is setting and you're out of time. So when you can catch that and
Mhm.
go, no, wait a minute, I'm unpacking the dishes. It's an RV.
Yeah.
I'm one person. This is a 15-minute job.
Mhm.
You don't let yourself walk away from it. Like, I get it.
Mhm.
I have literally
Yeah.
been unpacking the dishwasher and wandered off somewhere and come back 2 hours later and the dishwasher hanging open with half the dishes in it. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. It's a safety mechanism. And that's,
Yeah. I think
but
the
no,
one thing that I've been trying to do more of is be more fluid with, like, intuitively do what feels right next instead of stick to my list in order.
that's fine if it
So,
works.
yeah,
But if it doesn't work and you end up running out of time again, then that's not an effective strategy.
right.
If it
Hmm.
works, that's cool.
Yeah.
Notice, just notice.
Hmm.
And when you feel the urge to walk away from that 15-minute job and then it becomes a 3-hour job, if you can catch it in the moment, you can go, why am I doing this? What's going on? What did I
Hmm.
just think about that made me scared? What am I worried about? Is this trip something I'm doing because I really want to do it, or do I feel like I have to do it? Like, what's happening
Hmm.
here? What's
Yeah.
happening? What's happening?
Yeah.
Just that simple question, not a why question, because the why is circular. What's
Hmm.
happening here? What's what am I feeling? What's going on in my belly? What's happening? What's trying to happen? Try to stay away from why. Why
Hmm.
is, I don't know, in your human design, if you have open head, open third,
Yeah.
yeah. So a why question, right out the top.
Yeah.
A what's happening? How am I feeling? What's going on in my legs? What's going on in my belly?
Hmm.
What's going on in my hips? What am I feeling down here? And even deliberately looking down, because you look
Hmm.
up and it's all up here. So
Yeah.
just noticing these behavioral things that tell you, again, and rewatch this video, that tell you it's down here and I'm up here. So let me
Hmm.
go down here and allow the space for your body to start to bring it.
Hmm.
I'd love to hear what happens. If you feel like shooting me an email, I'd love a picture of you or tag me on Facebook or something. We'll, like kick back, having some iced tea or whatever, and everything is done.
Yeah.
And it's the day before. I'd love to see that. I'd love to,
Okay. Yeah.
I'd love to see that for you. That'll
Hmm.
be amazing. And then that will filter out in the rest of the whole pattern. It can.
Yeah. Well, I did take this weekend off for my birthday,
Happy
and I went
birthday!
to.
Oh, I think I put a happy birthday on your Facebook page.
I haven't even been on Facebook since my
Oh,
birthday.
that's good.
I
That's good.
looked at it. I was like, "Oh, you got
Yeah.
120 notices." Like,
Yeah,
deal with
that's
that
good.
later.
Look at it'll
Yeah,
be
I went to
those your
a
birthday wishes.
Reiki sound healing event on Sunday, and
Okay.
it was very relaxing. It was a summer solstice cacao event, and it was beautiful. And then yesterday or Monday, I went to the hot springs all day.
Oh, nice.
And I just relaxed. I told my friend we have no agenda. We're getting there at 10 and we don't have to be to dinner until 6. So we have all
Yeah.
day just to nap, go
Yeah.
in the pools. It was so nice. I got a dog sitter and everything. I just spoiled
Good
myself.
for you.
So
Yeah.
that was important to do. Take a break. Um,
Yeah.
yes.
Let me know how it goes.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I feel like you're very close to it. It, I don't think it's going to take you long to unwind it. Um, so listen for unresolved grief. Listen
Mm-hmm.
for unresolved bitterness or anger.
Mm-hmm.
Listen for the voice that is just gets so angry that you try and try and try and try, and yet these things, this life thing
Mm-hmm.
keeps fucking with you. Listen for that voice.
Yeah.
Um, the information is coming. I can feel that.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions or
No, I don't think so. You're giving me a lot to think about. When will you have this posted?
I'm gonna do it today. I have
Okay.
30 minutes, so I'll probably just go ahead and knock it out.
Yeah. Okay.
And um, let's see. Yeah, then I'll just email you the link,
Mm-hmm.
or
Okay.
you'll see it come. Some people want to be tagged on Facebook when the video comes out, and some people do not want to be tagged. Yeah, and you don't want your last. I'm not putting last names anyway.
No,
Yeah, so
no,
we're okay on.
just only because nobody knows I'm going to be switching careers. So I don't
Yeah,
want that tagged yet.
yeah.
It's not,
We'll just
I'm
leave.
not there yet.
Yeah,
So
it's okay. It's
yeah.
okay. It's all good. Like everything
Yeah.
that's happening is all just these interweavings. You know that. It's all energy,
Mm-hmm.
physical, soul, mind, all
Yeah.
this interplay between all the things. And then you pick a word and everything
Yeah.
starts to unwind. And then that's okay. It's where you're at in the process,
Yeah.
and it's a great place to be. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I will
Okay.
email you the link. And thank you. Super bright.
Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
You're
It was
welcome.
very insightful. I have a lot to
Yeah,
think about. So thank you for your time, and
you're welcome. Thank
I
you.
would love to talk to you more when I'm settled.
When
I
you
feel
have
like
space.
I would like, yes, when I have this phase, I look at your classes, I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. But no,
Yeah, not
no,
yet.
no more classes right
Not
now.
yet. Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't do one more thing. So no,
Okay.
but I at some point, yes. So thank you.
Okay. Bye for now.
Appreciate it.